Okay, so in your set, the things you do well, meaning you don't have to worry about them or try to rethink them, just let them go naturally as they are. Club head. You have it squared up behind the center of the ball on a regular basis. Club and ball position are dead center of your stance, neutrally for that shortish iron. Feet about shoulder width. Posture. Got a pretty good spine angle, little flex to your knees so you're in an athletic position or on the balls of your feet for stability and balance purposes. And basically, it's the shaft angle itself. It's also not bad. It's just kind of at your navel or center where the butt end of the golf club is positioned, and the club is fairly levelly grounded. So these are things you do well. Okay, things I suggested. Your top hand. I'm not a big changer of a person's grip, but I suggest when you have a weak grip where you see fingertips, as you saw, and you raise the club up with one arm and it feels awkward, like we tried, and you put your left hand over so you can see a couple knuckles. And then raise the club up, it feels much lighter in your hands. So I prefer a stronger grip. And if you're a right-handed person, you want to strengthen the left side. So I'm a left-handed person, but I play golf right. So this left arm is pretty well coordinated. This one's passive. If this is too weak, we end up gripping too tight in the bottom hand, and you get dominant here. And as a result, do you see how your shoulders are lined up a little bit left or open? Where mine are more perpendicular over top of my hips and my feet. That's because the left arm and hand is leveraged and strong. The right hand and arm is tucked in and soft. So if this stays tucked in, your right arm, your shoulders are square. That'll help you turn better, right? And you can see your shoulders are a little bit open. And all I see is your right forearm in front of your left, and you can see the opposite with me. So that's where a mirror becomes very, very useful, because I'd love you to reenact your routine with the usage of a mirror down the line at home, and maybe face on to look at your grip, to look at the shaft angle being in forward. That's the last thing we mentioned, is when you lean that golf shaft a little bit ahead of the club head, your body weight will probably go with it, 55, 45 you want it to, and you'll be able to compress the ball with an iron. You had your hands almost behind the ball. That's why you were getting those scooped shots and blading it and coming over top of it and hanging on your back leg. So that'll be your setup from now on, I would suggest, right? Just practicing that in the future. Because we're going to watch your swing now from this takeaway. And you can see it's your arms that take the club back in a fairly direct manner. And as you continue back with your arms, now about here is where your right elbow starts to fold. But you can see how the golf club gets into a fairly, what I call, flat angle. Okay? It doesn't get maybe as vertical or as on plane. And you got great ability to recover, obviously, but you want it to be easier, not tougher, right? The less moving parts, the better. So you can see how I've made more of a shoulder turn, and your shoulders haven't really moved that much. Your arms have pulled the club back, and then you rely on recovering. And you can see from this position, you can see your arms coming back in front of your body, re-extending the club towards the ball. And notice how right at impact, before impact, if we pull it back 1 second, look at that club head come down a little bit more. See how it's in front of the ball? Club head. So from there, you're going to have to cut across the ball. So now your club head turns over, you recover nicely here, and you turn through. But again, that's a lot of effort, right? And I can get you more power with less effort by using your core muscles, just by getting your fundamentals cleaned up or polished a little bit by the things I've mentioned. So in the future, that better setup, the golf club can now swing away with the rotation of your shoulders and arms to make a bigger turn. The club will get more on plane by just setting out the way I mentioned. And you're going to be able to use your legs and hips to pivot and push off for power, and your arms will follow that movement of your legs. And you'll make more of a follow-through motion like you see me doing to the right, and just make some practice swings at the range to emulate this motion as a rehearsal to get confidence and build trust. That's the first stage.